All right, number 9, this is a longer one because it's a higher power function, but we're going to show you how to, I'm going to try to show you how to do it in the quickest way and use a matrix to help solve it so that you don't have to do elimination for such a high-powered function with 3 unknowns, but you could do it by hand. So first thing is I am going to graph all these points. Okay, look kind of funky, some weird stuff going on here, but to me it looks like this thing is going to start going down at the end and it comes from down here. Okay, so it looks like a frowny face, but it's a frowny face that's even, meaning it goes down on both sides. So I know that it's an even function, even powered function, like an x squared, x to the 4th, x to the 6th. It doesn't look like x squared because that would be nice and symmetrical. So maybe x to the 4th. I sure hope it's not x to the 6th. And I know that the leading coefficient should be negative because it points down. Okay, so we're going to try to come up with an equation that will match that data perfectly. So first thing we got to do, we need to find the first differences. We're finding out by doing this what degree this function is. Negative 72 minus 19. 19 minus 20. 20 minus 3. You just keep going down the line. 29, 19. Definitely not linear. Which makes sense because we just graphed it and it's not linear. Okay, so I'm subtracting these numbers and I get negative 90 there, negative 18, 6, negative 18, negative 90. I'm trusting you to be able to use a calculator or your brain to figure these ones out. Full confidence in you. So this would be negative 72, negative 24, 24, and 72. So it's also not cubic. Let's try it one more time. So negative 72 minus 24, or minus negative 24, negative 48, negative 48, negative 48. So boom goes the dynamite. That is a common difference, and it's the 4th successive difference. So successive, not this one, the one that comes after it, or that one, but the 4th one, number 4. So that means it's a 4th degree function. That means it is quartic. And we know the quartic function can be written like this. Y equals ax to the 4th plus bx to the 3rd plus cx squared plus dx plus e. Start with the power that the function is, that goes with the a, and then work your way all the way down to a constant. We know the constant, boom, it's right here. When x is 0, every single term except for e goes away because it's the only one that doesn't have an x with it. It's not multiplied by x. So if y is negative 8, the only thing that can make this function hold true is if e equals negative 8. I'll write that up there. And what is a? Well, if you remember, if it was linear, then this row would be the same and it would be equal to a. If it was quadratic, second row would be the same, be equal to 2a. If it's cubic, this row would be equal to 6a. So it's quartic, and that row is equal to 24a. So negative 48 is equal to 24a because 24a because it's quartic. Divide by 24, a is negative 2. Ding, negative 2. So negative 8 and negative 2. We've got 2 of them. We need the other 3. Easier said than done, but I'm going to write the equation we have so far. Negative 2x to the 4th plus bx cubed plus cx squared plus dx minus 8. And let's start plugging in points. Okay, so my recommendation is for sure to use the 1s right next to 0 and to use 220. Now why don't I use 0? 0 is an easy number. But because when I use 0, I'm going to eliminate the b, c, and d terms, which are all terms I really would like to know. So it wouldn't be helpful. Okay, so I'll start with the hardest one first. -1, -37. And we'll plug that in. -37 is equal to -2 times -1 to the fourth plus b times -1 to the third plus c times -1 squared plus d times -1 minus 8. Whew. Okay, it's long, looks complicated, but it's really not that bad because -1 to the fourth is just 1, which leaves -2. -1 cubed is -1, so that's just a minus b. -1 squared means that's just c times 1 minus d minus 8. So -2 combines with -8 to make -10. Move it to the other side, you get -27 equals -b plus c minus d. I'm going to put a box around that because that is our first, that's our first equation. Okay, let's do another one, and this time I'm going to use 1, 3. So when y equals 3, -2, what's 1 to the fourth? It's just 1. So I'm not even going to write that. Plus b times 1 plus c times 1 plus d times 1. Whee! Okay, so again we've got -10 from here and here. And that's going to make this 13 is equal to, oh my. Sorry, my thing is acting up. 13 is equal to b plus c plus d. We got another equation. And we need one more, and to get that last one, we're going to use the point 220. Let me do this. We use the point 220. 20 is equal to -2 times 2 to the fourth plus b times 2 to the third plus c times 2 squared plus d times 2, not plus, minus 8. Now we gotta simplify. 20 is equal to, this makes negative 32. 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, plus 8b, plus 4c, plus 2d, minus 8. And when you're done, that should simplify to 60 is equal to 8b plus 4c plus 2d. My goodness, that's extensive. Okay, so now we need to make a matrix out of these three. We could do substitution, we could do elimination, we try things like that. Actually, the D and the B will eliminate really easily here and leave you with just C. But I want to show you the matrix as well. So we want a column for all the variables, and then we want a column for the number. So you have some B's, C, D equals a number. So for the first one, scroll up a little bit to get away from that bad spot in my pad. So we got, I'll do red. First equation, -1b plus 1c minus 1d equals -27. Okay. Start with the variables. The number by itself on the other side of the equal sign is at the end. The next one, 1b, 1c, 1d, 13. And the last one, 8b, 4c, 2d equals 60. Okay, so just taking the coefficients off. All right, let's go back to the calculator. See how quickly we can knock this out. So you'll hit second, and then the little x to the -1 button that says matrix above it, because we want to use a matrix. We're going to go to Math and go up to RREF, Row Reduced Echelon Form, and hit Enter. Then you hit Alpha and Zoom. We have to select the dimensions of this matrix. So I see 3 rows and 4 columns. If you do the bonus, it is row. If you do the bonus, it's a 4x5. It's exciting. 3x4. And go down and hit Enter. And it puts up a blank matrix for me. So I got to put in -1 over 1, -1, and nope, 27, and 1, 1, 1, 13, last row 8, 4, 2, and 60. And you hit enter, boom. So the B value, B is in the first column, so the first column is 8. B is 8, C is -7, D is 12. So we'll go back up here. B is 8, C is -7, D is 12. Let me double check that. So I'm going to go to the y equals, and I'm going to type the equation right here. It is -2 x to the 4th plus 8x to the 3rd minus c is 7. Whoa. Minus 7x squared plus 12x, and e is -8. Okay. I think that's the equation. If that's the equation, my table should line up, and also my graph should line up with those points. Whew. That's nice. Okay, beautiful. It's a quartic function with a negative leading coefficient. The y-intercept is -8. And if you go to the table, you'll see that that table lines up with that. And with that, we conclude number 9.